The following interview is with a character from the Traveler role-playing game. The experience during the character's career, events, and life are portrayed by the players who play them. For your own experiences like these characters, go to www.mongoosepublishing.com and look up the Traveler role-playing game.
I'm Lieutenant Royce Amanthin, Count Bitterman and former Prime Minister of Hephaestus. My background is bleak, to say the least. It's not... to most, it's not the most entertaining thing in the world. Not much about it that I relish in. When I was in my 20s, I was completely and totally cast out from my family. My mom was the main progenitor of the idea to cast me out because I wasn't really doing anything with my life. I was trying to make to them meaningless social connections within the lower rankings, and they completely totally kicked me out of the family. And I had to go to a nearby small asteroid colony and try and make connections there instead, which that went fairly well. I started rising in the ranks of basically ministerial duties, I guess is what you would call them. And eventually I did rise to the rank of Prime Minister of Hephaestus, where I ended up going. But I could not have done it without my uncle, because he's the only family member I have in the entirety of my family that actually cared. When I was ostracized from my family, I helped some people basically undermine my family, and their titles sank dramatically, which did come back to bite me because they were eventually caught, because anyone in my profession eventually gets caught if they do something wrong. Always. I've never gotten away with anything. But yeah, it came back to bite me and hurt my position. And as you know, when they were caught, they immediately ratted me out, of course, to lessen their sentence. They were all executed anyway, but you know, still came back to get me, which I had to leave as Prime Minister because of that. So I still hold my rank, but no, when I left, I got a Traveler's Aid Society membership, which that's fine.
So we hear that since you retired from the prime ministerial duties, that you joined the crew of the Samson. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, it's a fairly interesting story. Because, well, let me start a little bit further back from that. When I left as Prime Minister, my uncle, he helped me out a bit, and I tried to, actually do something with my life, because there wasn't much that I had actually done. I was just, stuck on my home world, and it's incredibly boring. When your family is always trying to undermine your position, you're sitting on the highest possible rank, and every single day, someone is trying to rip you out of your seat. And I take antibiotics, and they're completely paid for. I've got a long time for them to aggravate me. So, in leaving the position, I tried out for the Scout. I wanted to see if I could actually go exploring. I wanted to, actually have a life, instead of, it's like, oh, I've got enough money to not care about anything, and everyone hates me. It's a good life. It's wonderful. Throughout everything everyone's ever told me that I'm incredibly intelligent and incredibly talented. I am to a degree, but they always blow it out of proportions. So I tried out for the Scouts, and on the first mission, actually the tryout mission, we encountered a brand new species. They hated me, and to say the least. We had to leave the area under fire, and the military had to intervene, so that was fun. After the scouts, I couldn't really find anything else to do. I can't just go back to being a drifter with my titles and all that. No one would really accept me into any particular job, so I ended up having to submit to the draft, which I was accepted into the Navy, which is hats off to the Navy. And they immediately saw what I could do and promoted me to ensign. And the first term in ensign, I got special forces training and became a lieutenant without having to do anything, which is fine. When it comes to becoming a lieutenant, you usually have to try and work your way up the ranks and actually, you strive for a better life, and you're like, I want to command, I want to be a professional. And they were like, oh, you managed an entire planet, and you caused a war, and you have all this money, and blah blah blah. And wait, you're good at absolutely everything. And I'm like, can I work my way in through like grunt all the way up? And they're like, no, you get special forces training, but I can already do all that. I'm like, oh well, now you're a lieutenant. And that's the story of my life. So I was, because of my abilities and everything else, I was assigned to the assistance, I guess, of a general. And we're going to be going off, and hopefully I'll be able to find something out there instead of having everything handed to me. So, if your life involves basically everyone hating you, and you're really good at everything, and you never really have any problems except for everyone you ever meet hating you because you're better than everything, you'll get used to it.